What's up, people? In this video, we're going to do one by Coach Red Pill. I browsed them and I saw this one, Why Game Matters. This is not one of his most popular videos, but I'm deciding to do it anyway because, and I don't know, maybe he's gonna like turn it around and say, well, actually, game doesn't matter. But it's very frequently in the red pill world or black pill world, or like honestly, like men's rights, whatever. They'll talk about how game doesn't matter. It's all about looks and money. It's all about status. It's all about this and that. And like, game is this like fake thing that doesn't actually mean anything or doesn't actually do anything. I personally disagree with that. Could not disagree with that more strongly. And here you have a red pill authority figure who says that game does matter, and he's going to say why game matters. I don't know. Like I said, he might turn it around and be like, haha, actually, it doesn't matter. If you do game, you're a bitch. But I don't know. Let's see here. I'm not sure.
A lot of people hate game.
True. A lot of people hate game. Anyway, CRP, what you got, bro? What you got?
Feminists hate game. Some incels, some diehard incels hate game. Feminist allies, these soy boy cucked out SJW men hate game. All kinds of people hate game, right? The establishment hates game. The notion of game, it drives them up the fucking wall. It's fucking hilarious if you think about it. Okay, definitions first. What do I mean by game? Very simple. Game is the colloquial term for the concept whereby sexual seduction in this current deregulated sexual marketplace can be reduced to a set of algorithms or processes or behavioral dynamics that will get you to fuck any girl that you want. That's game. Now, what does this mean? It means that, see, in the current sexual marketplace, well, it's deregulated. Now, what does deregulation mean? It means that a woman is not limited by any kind of social pressure, and that allows her to have sex with whomever she wants. Now, because of this, see, it's very easy to manipulate a woman into having sex with a guy, any guy.
All right. Slow it down a little bit. Any woman you want? No. Like, fine, in the interest, I'm sure, of making a concise video. I don't know, did he really mean any woman? Like, that's not... If you have good game, you can't sleep with any woman, right? Like, circumstances of life get in the way, really, straight up. Like, okay, a girl, like, let's say you have an amazing game, you're the best game in the world, you're Brad Pitt, fine, you're actually Brad Pitt, and there's a girl who's, like, gotta catch a flight in 5 minutes because her mom is on her deathbed, and if she doesn't catch this flight, like, she'll go bankrupt, and like all these negative things will happen. And Brad Pitt walks up, he's like, "Hey, baby, what's up?" Like, starts like spitting the best game in the world. Is she gonna miss that flight and like ruin her life just to fuck Brad Pitt? No, she's not going to. Okay, like, no, she's not. Maybe some people will be like, "Yeah, she will. She'll do it." Brad Pitt, he's good looking, he's tall. No, she won't. Anyway, it's a hypothetical situation. Like, I can say no, she won't. You can say yes, she will. I don't think she will. In my experience, like, logistics, they call it, like, actual reasons why things can't happen, get in the way more than you would think. However, what he said is true. It's like a series of algorithms or whatever. I don't know. It makes it sound a little more complicated than it really is, which is what game nerds like to do. But this idea that seduction follows a specific path, right, or needs to happen in a certain way, is pretty much the core of game. And he's right. Oh my God, what did I say? What did I say in the beginning of this video? Everybody hates game. Fucking feminists hate it. Incels hate it. The establishment hates it. Everybody hates it, right? Because it's like, I'm not really sure why, honestly. I think men hate it, or some men hate it, because, okay, some guys like to white knight for sure. They're like, oh, I don't do that game stuff. I'm just a normal guy. Blah blah blah. Some naturals will say that too. They're like, oh, dude, just be yourself, And you have some guys, I think, who just don't want to face the fact, the reality, arguably, that it's their fault, or that there's something else that they could do to improve their chances, and the fact that they're not doing it is their fault, right? If I say, for example, I can't do this because of these external circumstances that have nothing to do with me, it takes the responsibility off of me. It's not my fault anymore, right? But if somebody's like, well, actually, there's this thing that you can do, and you can learn how to say things in a certain order that'll actually like get you the results you want, and I accept that message, and I'm like, oh, really? Well, that's true? Oh, then I have no excuse. Well, where are these things? I'd love to learn them. And then they're like, well, actually, it's going to involve a lot of pain, and you're going to get rejected a lot, and there's like a pretty steep learning curve, and it's not going to be fun in the beginning, and it's going to cause you a lot of like stress. And then I go experience that stress. I'm like, oh, no, too much stress. I don't like it. This game doesn't work. It's not real. Not an attractive choice.
A guy, no matter how ugly or short or pathetic, if he masters game, truly masters it, and understands that game works for every woman, well, he will be able to fuck any woman. No matter how hot she may be, no matter how out of his league she might presumably be, he will be able to fuck any woman. Because the insight of game, and this is key, and the thing that drives people nuts, the central insight of game is very simple. It's that people are mechanistic. You push certain psychological buttons, and you will get certain predictable behavioral results. Nobody wants to feel like they're an automaton, but that's the fact of the matter. The vast majority of people, I'm talking 99.95% of the population, you hit certain stimuli and you will get certain results, both positive and negative, okay? I mean, it goes in all directions. And see, this is a central tenet of marketing, okay? You hit people with certain stimuli, you tell them certain things, and they're gonna buy your product. They're gonna vote for your candidate. Yeah, it works, okay? If it didn't work, people wouldn't do it, okay? I mean, you gotta understand this. But this truth about human beings drives certain people up the fucking wall, because it basically means that most people do not have agency. Most people can be manipulated. Most people, most women, can be gotten into bed if you know which buttons to push and in what order to push those buttons. And this is something that bothers people enormously. But that's not the point of this video. No, see, the point of this video is why game matters. And it's because of the central insight. And it's because of something else.
All right, so just again to clarify this, like he's saying that if you master game, you can sleep with any woman. And again, to be fair, I think he said that to simplify things because he didn't want to say you have a better chance of sleeping with women who you might otherwise not have a chance with because of your inferior looks, whatever, social skills, social standing, height, blah, 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 if the circumstances are also conducive to that. Right? That's much more lengthy, but damn, look how many fucking cameras Homeboy has, like, here. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this another one? 5? 6 over here? Golly, probably another one here. Oh no, the window's this way, so he wants the natural light. Yeah, but this is like saying, all right, so why am I nitpicking about this? Like, you can sell to any, or you can sell to anyone. You can get anyone into bed. This is like saying if you learn how to sell, you can sell to anyone, which is not true. You can't sell to anyone. I mean, theoretically, you can sell to anyone, but you're not going to sell to everyone. Is the point, right? Like, you learn how to sell, you're not going to sell to everybody, right? It doesn't matter how good you are as a salesperson. It's a fucking numbers game at the end of the day. It's the same with seduction. Okay, it's like saying, all right, so I guess technically he is right? You can sell to anyone, but does that mean you will sell to everyone? No. Regarding what he said about, like, mechanisms and automatons and shit like that, there is some truth to that. You can say certain things that will elicit a specific response from somebody. For example, easy example is saying, excuse me. Right? If you say excuse me to somebody on the street, they're going to stop and pay attention to you. Why? Because the words excuse me, they just elicit that type of response from someone. Now that's a very neutral, basic thing, to say to somebody, but there's more, there's things that are more sexually charged that will get you a result more conducive to getting someone into bed. One of them is disqualifying yourself or disqualifying the girl, right? Saying something like, oh, it would never work between us because, right? Or you're like my little sister. That's a good one. That's a great one. Like, God, like, you're like my little sister. I remember I said that to a girl once and she goes, ouch. And I actually, like, I had no interest in her at all. And I said that because she was like my little sister. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it's really good. And she wanted me, like, even more after that. Yeah, anyway.
Else too. Let's see. If you master game, you can apply the principles of game in other areas of your life. In other areas of your life that are very important. In your business life, in your social life, in your family life. Game is essential because, like I said, it understands that people are predictable in their behavior. And therefore, if you master game, you can apply game not just to picking up girls. That's trivial, okay? It's fun to fuck some girl, but it's much better to use game to get shit tons of money from clients, your career. You see where I'm going here. And that's why I urge you to study game, to learn pickup game, yeah? Because pickup game, yeah, sure, fine, it will get you pussy, yeah? And you practice it enough, and you get good at game, and you can go to any city in the world, and if you can talk the language, you'll be able to pick up any girl, no matter how hot. You can get her with game, but that's not why game is so valuable. Game is valuable because you can apply it in your business, in your career, in your profession, whatsoever that profession or business or career might happen to be, because people don't change, you see? And ultimately, in just about every line of work, it really doesn't matter if you're a genius. What matters is how you handle other people. And ultimately, that's what game is about. It's about handling other people to get them to do what you want them to do. Now, ultimately, it's about manipulation. Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what we're talking about here. That's what game teaches you. It teaches you how to manipulate people. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I mean, why? Why is it a bad thing to manipulate people and get them to do what you want them to do, huh? I mean, explain that to me. We manipulate people from the time we are 3, 4 fucking years old. And
so here's the thing with persuasion. Let's call it persuasion, right? Like, manipulation has a very negative connotation. To say he manipulated me or she manipulated me, it's almost like it was against your will and you didn't want it to happen. Whereas persuasion is really the same thing, right? Manipulation just implies that you were like coerced, or it was like you didn't want it to happen or something. But persuasion is not a voluntary, action either, being persuaded, right? But he's right. Everything is a manipulation. Everything is persuasion. It's everyone's jockeying for position. Everyone is trying to pull you in the direction that they want you to go, just like you are trying to pull people in the direction that you want them to go. Now, the thing, why does game work, and why does sales work, or the practice of selling, or learning the skills that are involved with sales, is because it has a specific end in mind, right? Most people, they bumble around in life, self included, they bumble around in life and they don't really know what they want in any situation, right? The two exceptions that we're talking about now, game and sales, those have a very clear end in mind, right? You're a salesperson, you're talking to a customer, you see where you want them to go, you know where you want them to go, and you execute this series of actions or behaviors or algorithms, whatever you want to call it, to push them closer and closer and closer to them signing the contract or swiping their credit card or whatever it is. Okay, with game, it's the same, except you're not trying to get money out of them, although that wouldn't be a bad idea. You're trying to get them into bed so you can fucking stick your little pee-pee in the hole and like have your 15-20 minutes of fun. But the point is that you have a goal in mind. You have an outcome that you're looking for. And I think that's one of the very attractive things about it, if you actually take a look at it, which is that it has, it teaches you how to get what you want from other people. But I think arguably more importantly than that, because look, at the end of the day, right, why don't most of us have more money? Why don't most of us have more sex? It's because, number one, we're not out there trying. More importantly than that, I think, is because we just don't want it badly enough. We really don't. Men out there, if you see a girl, right? We've all been in situations like this, right? Where you see a girl and you're just like smitten. You are struck, right? And maybe the situation presents itself where it becomes socially acceptable to talk to her, and you're just you have hearts in your eyes, like fucking cartoon style. And you just you want this girl, and you are just saying everything, the right thing. You got all the right moves, and she can feel it. And she's like, oh God, this guy really likes me. Wow, what is it? I like him too, And you move things along, and then before you know it, you're having sex with her in a short amount of time, right? Why? Because you wanted it very badly, and you push things along. You don't know shit about game. You don't know shit about pickup. Maybe you know a little bit, but you didn't think, okay, now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. You just wanted it enough, and you went for it, right? Same thing with sales, right? In sales, I've worked with a lot of salespeople, and I've trained quite a few salespeople as well. I know who's going to be good because the people who are good are the ones who want it more. Forget about experience. Forget about anything, really. Experience is important, but forget about strategies, tactics, who read more sales books. You give me a guy who is broke, has no money, needs that money, or he will get his legs broken, he's going to make that sale. He's going to come home with money in his pocket. Whereas you take some guy, he's read some books, he knows some stuff, kind of worried about getting rejected, just not got his mommy's credit card so he can, spend money without having to worry about it. He's not broke, you know what I mean? That guy's not going to sell as hard.
And do you know how I know this? Because I'm manipulated just about every goddamn day by my kids. Yeah, my daughter is 6 and my son is 4, right? And these little monsters, right, they manipulate me and their mother like crazy all the goddamn time, see? And my son, my 4-year-old, what does he do, right? To his mother, he cries. He cries and has a tantrum, but he doesn't cry and have a tantrum with me because he knows that having a tantrum with me doesn't really work, that I'm not going to give him what he wants. So you know what he does? Huh? The little 4-year-old little shit, right? He comes over to me, but actually he sort of slinks around me. He doesn't come straight at me. He slinks around and I might be reading a book or something, right? And he'll perch himself right here, right? And start looking over my shoulder at my book, right? And start whispering, and saying that he really wants a Kinder Surprise, right? Kinder Surprise is some stupid egg candy kind of thing. It's basically a toy wrapped in a chocolate egg, right? You break open the chocolate egg and there's a toy inside, okay? And he loves this shit. It costs $1, okay? And the thing is that he always wants one, always, all the time, because there's chocolate and there's a toy, and the toy always changes. It's always a surprise. And of course he wants one, and of course he manipulates me. He tries to manipulate me, and many times very successfully, right? And he'll smile and cajole me, and eventually get me to do what he wants. He's manipulating me, and that's the point. See, he learned to manipulate people all on his own. We all manipulate from the time that we are children. We manipulate our parents, we manipulate the people around us. We try to get them to do what we want them to do. A lot of times, in order to get people to do what you want, which is actually going to be good for them, to confront them and to like hammer it home and like be all pushy about it, it's not going to get them to do what you want them to do, which would be beneficial for them, okay? I mean, a lot of times, you have to maneuver people, you have to manipulate them in order for their best interests to be satisfied. So manipulation in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's why you're manipulating people, okay? Sometimes you want to manipulate.
It's a fair point. You know, and this is very common in sales, right? A lot of times in sales, you know, I've had a ton of sales jobs. Like, I don't even know how many sales jobs I've had at this point. Like, so an embarrassing number of jobs. Anyway, whatever. The point is that oftentimes the product that you're selling, if there are salesmen that are selling it, then an extra effort is being taken by the company to sell more products, right? So an additional extra effort that the company will take normally is having a more attractive price, more competitive price, better benefits, more value, whatever it is. And as the salesperson, you know, because you're more familiar with the market and what else is available in the market, you know that on paper, your product is the best, it's got the best value, it's the cheapest, it offers the most benefits, whatever, it beats everybody else. But you still need to convey that to the customer in order for them to buy, right? It's not like you don't like hand them this piece of paper and they're like, okay, I'm convinced, like a fucking robot, and they're like, here's my credit card. It doesn't work like that. You have to do it in a way so that they feel good about making the purchase. Game is the same way. Now, again, to be fair, like what is unique about persuasion, okay, manipulation, persuasion, whatever you want to call it, is that they have a specific goal in mind. His son knew he wanted the Kinder Egg, right? That was his goal. That's what he wanted. He wanted the fucking Kinder Egg. So everything that he did was to pursue that Kinder Egg. I think the main problem with men today, you could say, is that they don't have any goals. They don't have any aspirations. They don't have any ambitions, really. And it's not to say they're lazy or anything like that. It's just that what is there really to want these days? You know, if the nice house and nice car and blah blah blah, if you don't want money for money's sake, then what else is there? Like, why? That's why it never made sense to me, right? Growing up, I was like, what do I want money for? So I can live in a nice house. I'll still be miserable. What's the point? I'm gonna hate my life. Like, okay, I'll just hate my life in a nicer house. Fine, great, wonderful. I'd rather hate my life on the fucking beach somewhere with muscles, you know what I mean, and a nice tan, and be able to do what I want most of the day. But I think, and I mentioned this in the last video that I did, but I was watching a Jordan Peterson video where he talks about responsibility being sorely lacking in young men's lives, and that without responsibility, they turn into Peter Pan. And I think a major part of responsibility is having that additional pressure on you to perform for a certain end, to achieve a certain end. Let's say you have kids, right? If you have kids, you're going to have a lot more pressure on yourself to perform because you feel responsibility for those kids, and you have a goal for those kids, sending them to a good school, buying them fucking Gucci hats, whatever your goals are for your kids. Yeah, does game teach you responsibility? I don't think so. Neither does sales in and of itself, but at least it offers a short-term goal in a conversation with somebody, which I guess is better than nothing.
Manipulate people so that they will all do some project that will make the company flourish and everybody get a pay raise, okay? And you're going to have to maneuver them because a lot of times people have different interests, you know, different priorities, what have you, their egos and whatnot. And so my point, and to go back to the overarching point of this video, game teaches you how to manipulate people. And that's why it's so important. I mean, I understand why a lot of times we wish it weren't the case that you need to manipulate people in order to get them to do what you want. I understand why. It would be wonderful if we lived in this magical world where by logic and reason, everybody would listen to you, listen to your logical argumentation and say, oh yes, you're totally right, I was totally wrong, I'm going to do what you said. It would be wonderful if we lived in such a world, but do we? Do we live in such a world? Of course not. Of course not. You know? And a lot of times when people realize that they're wrong, they hold on to their wrong belief tighter, okay? Because they're a fucking ego, yeah? That's why you have to learn game. Game teaches you to maneuver and manipulate women to get them into bed, yeah? Which is, of course, what you want, especially if you've been sexually unsuccessful. But the tools you learn in game, they are the tools that you can apply everywhere with all of the people you meet. Men, women, children, older people, fucking nuns, and fucking who knows who. With everyone. Because see, ultimately in life, you have to deal with people. It's only by way of dealing with people that you can get what you want, because ultimately we are social animals. So learn game. Learn game. And remember, game is like calculus, okay? It's always the same everywhere. You know, Leibniz and Newton discovered, quote unquote, calculus, or invented calculus, or however you want to put it, right? They were working at roughly the same time. They came to the same conclusions. Totally independent the one of the other. But what does that tell you? Yeah? And you go here, you go there, you go to Tasmania, Timbuktu, Toronto, wherever the fuck. And you will find teachers who are teaching you calculus. Are they teaching something different? No, it's the same everywhere. The only difference is that, say, this teacher might be a better teacher or this teacher a worse teacher, but the subject matter is always the same. The same is going on with game, with pickup game. It's always the same.
Yeah. Okay. That's not wrong. Um, I think a lot of men, young men, whatever, they're resistant to learning game, especially when they come from a red pill background or they're immersed in the red pill philosophy, and that philosophy appeals to them because that philosophy absolves them of a lot of their let's call it bad results with girls. Like the red pill stuff, and it doesn't say this outright. Like if you look at the actual, it's like it's one of these. It's like feminism. Like it looks good on paper, but the people who are drawn to that ideology are not. It's like socialism, right? It's a great idea. Communism. It's a great idea. Sounds great. Sounds like it should work. But the people who are drawn to that are not like they don't have their best intention. Everyone's best intentions at heart, and they execute it in a corrupt way. Similar to the red pill stuff, right? You do have some upstanding citizens who will teach red pill concepts, but it attracts a lot of sick people, unfortunately. Sorry, everyone. Like, I'm not saying he's sick. Am I saying you're sick if you watch this video and you like red pill stuff? Maybe. I might be. I was sick. I was attracted to that idea. I was in the fucking red pill wormhole for 3 years. I got sucked in, for sure. Definitely learned a lot. I still believe a lot of those concepts. However, you still need, like, okay, it's let's say you're right. It's like communists saying they're right. Well, we're right because our form of government is actually the best. Okay, great. Meanwhile, what's your life like? Like, is that belief serving you? Not to say that I don't believe those things, but you have to also sometimes choose your beliefs based on what they will get you in life. So anyway, I think a lot of these like red pill guys, they resist this game stuff because the red pill philosophy says to them, it says, okay, your bad results with women is not your fault. Women are actually biologically programmed to not like you and to like these other guys instead. Deal with it, really. Like, it's a jungle out there, deal with it, kind of. Like, okay, you're not tall, you're not rich, you're fucked, basically. And then like they kind of like whisper outside of their mouths, but you should also learn game. It's like an afterthought. So a lot of these guys, they see game as like, well, it's not fair anyway. Women don't like me anyway. I'm not going to chase them because these red pill guys say like, just lift weights and make money. So therefore, like if I practice game, I'm supplicating and I'm a little bitch. I'm not going to do that because I'm a real man. I ignore women. I don't get laid at all. Yeah, that's the way to go. MGTOW all the way, baby. But again, I don't know. I agree with this guy. Nitpicking on the finer points, but I think overall he's right. You do need game. And if you don't have a sales background, if you don't have any background in any sort of persuasive activity, business, sales, pickup, you don't have kids, whatever, parenting, you could even say. Although I've seen some fucking bad parents. Where are you going to learn it from? You got to learn it from somewhere. Go get a sales job. Just as good.
The only thing the difference is who's teaching it. And the only difference insofar as who's teaching it, it depends on your reaction to that teacher. Because some guys teach game and you just don't click with them. And with some other person, you click really well with them, but they're not going to be teaching you anything different, just as the math teacher in Timbuktu or Kalamazoo is teaching the same thing. It's just an issue of personality of the professor, okay? But learn game. I don't give a shit who you learn it with, learn it, okay? You can learn it from books, you can learn it online, you can learn it from gurus that you have to pay $500 for a weekend or whatever the fuck. I personally don't think that you really need to pay, but that's why I think that doesn't really matter. You can learn it. It's out there. That's the beauty of the online world and YouTube and shit. All this shit is just out there. They beamed it all over the place. All you have to do is just get on a web browser and start looking around and you can learn this shit. This shit applies to all of life. That's why it's so important. Because see, ultimately, chasing pussy, getting pussy into bed, right, is of course an evolutionary priority for man. Yeah? And so of course, the men who are learning game in order to get pussy, of course they're gonna pay attention. They're gonna pay strict attention because they want to get laid, because their whole fucking body, their whole existence drives them towards getting laid, right? But the fringe benefit of learning game, yeah, sure, you apply it to pussy, but you can apply it everywhere else, and that's why game matters.
Yeah, so basically, here's the deal. Like, he's right. Again, he's right. Is game taught the same by everybody? Well, okay, so what did he say? He's like, game is the same. It just depends on who's teaching it. I don't know. I think there's a lot of differences in style of game. And I think that in certain situations, well, I don't know. Am I nitpicking again? Maybe. I think, for example, you can learn with somebody who teaches more social circle game, right? Which is basically like being the coolest guy in a room at any given time around a lot of people who know who you are, right? Like in Vegas, this guy, one of the RSD instructors, Luke, teaches social circle game, right? Arguably like one of the top pickup instructors in the world. He's also very good at cold approach. But what he teaches, he's like, go to the same, pick 5 places, pick a day game spot, pick a mall, pick a Starbucks, pick a club, pick the best places. He also says pick the best places. And he's like, go there every day. You just go there every day, and just by the mere exposure effect, you'll make friends with these people, and they'll begin to like you. And just by you going there and being like a regular and a cool person, you'll build social proof in these places and be more comfortable. And any girls who come through the doors will naturally like you and be more receptive to you. It's like we all have areas of domain expertise, right? We all have areas where we're very confident. You know, you can take a guy, let's say you put him in a night, let's say he's a, I don't know, computer programmer, right? Generally, computer programmers are not outgoing bros, you know what I mean? They're not like, you're not going to see a computer programmer in the club, like, you know, bottle of Grey Goose in one hand, like bucket of Red Bulls in the other hand, fucking raging. You're not going to see that. So you're not going to see him in a typical environment where he, where there's a lot of women, where he's going to feel comfortable and outgoing and doing approaches. However, let's say you have him teach a class on software development, right? And let's say you put in that class a lot of beautiful women. He's going to be much more confident, and he's going to be able to speak with confidence to those women, and that confidence will show through, and those women will naturally be attracted to him because he is speaking with confidence, because he has domain expertise, right? So the idea is to just build this domain expertise in places where you have a lot of beautiful women, so you can get good at game. Now, what Luke says is like an advertisement for Luke, but anyway, what Luke says is that if you pick the right places, right? If you pick the top clubs, if you pick strip clubs in the right places, which also have a lot of beautiful women, you go to high-end ones. If you pick a high-end restaurant, which is going to attract men with more money generally surrounded with beautiful women, models, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about the top of the top. If you pick places like that and you just make those the places that you hang out, you'll naturally rub elbows and just kind of get absorbed into that world. It's like if all of your friends fucking shoot heroin, you're probably going to shoot heroin eventually. You know, if all your friends are making fucking millions of dollars for online marketing, you'll probably do the same. It's kind of impossible to not do that. Now, you take that, oh God, and you compare that to somebody like Todd, right? RSD Todd, or Todd Valentine, as he's currently known, teaches a much more technical style of game where there's the beginning, middle, and end. You got to do this, and then you got to do this, and then you got to do this, and you got to do this. It's more of like a sniper approach, right? It's less of like, pick this place, go there all the time, and get to know these people. And it's more like, I'm going to drop you in a city somewhere, more traditional approach really, it's game. I'm going to drop you in a city somewhere, you have 30 steps that you need to do from beginning to end to get a girl back to your place to have sex with her. But you do these 30 things, you eventually master one step every day or 2 days or week or whatever it is. Eventually you're going to have the system down where you know that you can give it to it every time. Is that calculus? I don't know. Am I nitpicking again? Maybe. Like, the dude is right. Like, game is important, straight up, at the end of the day. If you don't think it is, I don't know. Are you really being honest with yourself? I don't know. Anyway, CRP, thank you for the lovely video. Yeah, if you guys have any other suggestions for videos, let me know. Leave me a comment. Peace.